War Eagle War Report family, that concludes the game. Auburn defeats Western Kentucky 41-17, shuts them out in the second half. Let's get ready to talk about it in this post game.
Pre-game, halftime, and post the whole time the chat live. We around our folks, but we gon' keep the chat tight, keeping out trolls. That's why you gotta get your green name on, your pre-game on, cause ain't nobody doing it better, reviewing it better, building rapport so you in tune with the players, with some great prize picks so you can scoop you some cheddar. Get your mug or your shirt with the letters. Game time.
As always, guys, we want to show love to PrizePicks. A great way to support us is to support those who are our sponsors. So please go out to PrizePicks, use code RAPPORT, where if you do, you get a 100% deposit match up to $100 on your first deposit. We want to shout out PrizePicks for being a sponsor of our game day experience. Speaking of game day experience, it's been a good day. I'm joined by Mike G. Now be Will. Gentlemen, Auburn pitched a what, Mike G, in the second half?
Shutout.
Shutout in the second half. Victorious 41-17. Auburn goes to 5-6 with an opportunity to be bowl eligible next week against Bama. More on that later. Quick thoughts from Mike G. Mike G, you're just now joining us. Thoughts on this game? What did you see, sir?
Listen, it felt like we got in a time machine and we were running pre-2010 offense. This was old school Auburn football. Yeah. This was. I love the nostalgia of having Jarquez Hunter throw the pass. Yeah, it was so reminiscent of a pass that Caddy threw to Anthony Mix back in the day. But it was clear. It's clear what the game plan was to run the ball. Right? Yeah. Run it. I thought they did a good job of managing the types of throws they gave Robbie. He threw a great deep ball that wasn't caught by Shedrick Jackson. But for the most part, 8 of 19, it was the type of game they needed. So we talked about this on Wednesday. That first drive was like 11 minutes or something like that, wasn't it?
It took up I don't think it was 11 minutes. I think they had 11 minutes to like 3 minutes in terms of time of possession in the first quarter.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
I mean, it was a long, just grinded out drives to help keep Western Kentucky's offense on the sideline, which is what we talked about as a key to the game on Wednesday when we did facts and all. And they were able to do it. So hats off, man. I was perusing Twitter and noticed a lot of people talking about halftime adjustments. Yeah, I'm gonna let B hit on. I'm gonna give B the halftime adjustments, but great win. DJ James, I'm so happy for that young man. He has almost had an interception so many times this year, and the one he comes up with, he takes to the house. That's a special moment for a DB. Taking one to the house like that is definitely a special moment for a DB. So, listen, man, it is what it is. But like at this point, a W is a W. So, we're not sitting here overanalyzing any wins by Auburn football down the stretch here. And this win makes next week's game a lot more interesting with a bowl game on the line for this Auburn squad.
Yeah. But you still got an Auburn team that still got a lot to play for, right? Other than pride.
and a chance to hand Bama their first 3-loss season since 2007.
2010.
10. Championship year. The championship year.
Mm-hmm.
Did they lose 3?
They lost to South Carolina, LSU, and us.
Oh, okay.
They were playing spoiler in that game against us. They were trying to ruin our season.
So they came into that game with 2 losses.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
I thought we were their second loss, but hey, listen, it is what it is. It's been a long time for Bama having 3 losses. It's been over a decade. And I'm happy for this team. I'm happy for Caddy and all the coaches who have stuck around and after the Iron Bowl next week, I know some things will start to shake out. But like a lot of folks had this game Caesar marked down as an upset.
Yeah.
A lot of people had this marked as an upset, so it was nice to see it on a Saturday where top teams were getting struggle wins.
Right.
Yeah, it was really nice to see them close this out in the second half.
For sure. It's it's almost like DJ James was like, God, if you give me another chance, I promise I'll do right. I'll do right by this chance. Please. give me another chance at a pick.
Yeah.
B. Will, your thoughts on this game, man? It was tight at the half. We talked about some things we wanted to see. What did you see in the second half?
In the second half, I saw, man, really can't say enough about how wrong I was about the effect that firing Brian Harsin could have on this football team. Things just seemed so bleak, and it felt like you ride this out. It felt like the coaching search that we are currently having was going to happen no matter what. The excitement was going to be there. We were going to be pulling in some big names. We were going to get an AD who got it, and we were also going to have a difference in what the head coaches were asking for. The AD even asked for autonomy. Like that was supposedly, as reported, language in the AD's contract, assurances and incentives that he would run his own program, his own department.
Yeah.
After Brian Harsin, and Mike G actually said this on Wednesday, the silver lining of the Brian Harsin tenure is that a lot of layers were pulled back and exposed. And we absolutely had to start running a more professional athletic department and football program in order to attract a coach who everybody in Auburn thinks is worthy of what Auburn is and can be.
For sure.
They absolutely had to take hands off. The AD said, leave me alone. He said, I'm going to hire a coach, and that coach is going to say, leave me alone. And it's going to be in writing because we've got too much of a track record of showing meddling, of showing breaking things down from the inside and backstabbing, and that wasn't going to work. So I think the coaching search that we're currently having, it's not because we got Caddy as head coach. I thought that coaching search was always going to happen. So really firing Harsin, what do you get? Maybe you get a couple of feel-good wins, and it's going to have a limited effect. You try out a few more guys that wouldn't have gotten to see the field, and maybe you know what you got there. But sure, it's going to be a little positive in short term, but long term, we'll end up in the same place. I greatly underestimated. First of all, I didn't think Caddy would get the nod. That's the first thing. Everybody was thinking Zach Etheridge. That's what we were talking about.
Right.
I can't believe that. I know Rich McGlynn was the acting AD at the time. I'm guessing that this was his decision to name Caddy. Unbelievable decision. It was the best possible what they could make of the situation where it was at. They made the best possible decisions. They're batting like 3 for 3 right now since Rich McGlynn started making moves. And I'm just astounded by how much harder they seem to play, by how much more they have left in the cupboard after halftime. I don't know if it was a situation where Brian Harsin was going, listen, I know football, do what I said do and it will work. And the guys knew but like it, or they didn't believe it was the best thing for us to win. And what you get with early Auburn football this season was action without belief. That's what it looked like. I'm going to do what you told me to do because you told me to do it. But I mean, I guess. And now I'm looking now, it's looked like actions are married with purpose in a way that they weren't before. And so the first thing that I think when I see this game, like I thought we would cover. I'm like, we win by a touchdown. What did I say? I say 30-21.
Something like that. Yeah.
Single digits. I didn't think it was going to be a blowout. To get a blowout in the second half, they didn't score a point in the second half. No. This is one of the highest scoring teams in the FBS. And yes, I know they're G5. That doesn't matter, man. I think more than ever, we're seeing, especially with what's happened this year, if you can play ball, you can play ball. You got coordinators coordinating all over the nation right now. It doesn't somebody who just started playing football in FBS level, or they bring somebody up from Division II, which their quarterback was. This is his first year in FBS. And he's played great. Those wide receivers, they played great. These are people who are getting yards. They're making completions. They're putting up points. We stopped that.
Right.
We stopped that with excellent play from some people who have been playing excellent all season, no doubt. DJ James has been an excellent corner for us. He's probably the most important pick. Nah, Robbie's probably the most important pickup because I don't know what we'd be doing if we didn't have a running quarterback back there. It'll be all bad. But DJ James is definitely the most important defensive pickup we got, and it's looking otherworldly for the ceiling of that player and that unit. With how does firing a guy who runs the offense make the defense play better? Like, I don't know what more you need to see to know that it was time to make a change. And again, I've eaten that crow. I'll probably eat my own prepared crow every time I get on here because I'm just so proud of the effort. I'm so proud of the energy with the team. Seeing these boys have fun again, man. Seeing people who look like they were just there going through the motions, but they believe. So when I see a second half like that, I'm elated for these guys, and it doesn't surprise me that we found more to what we were expecting. See, at halftime, they stopped trying to pass so much, and they were like, "We're gonna get these yards on the ground." Yeah. Tank got his yards. Quez got his yards. Everybody got their yards. Robbie got his yards.
But it's not like suddenly the line learned how to run block, right?
Right.
We had a scheme. We had a scheme issue, and this is what I was trying to say earlier in the season: was the scheme was almost accentuating their weaknesses.
Yeah.
Right. On offense on this line, it's still funny. I mean, we hadn't heard anybody, all the crows about how bad our offensive line has been on social media has tamped down so much. So it's just weird when you start calling plays and you start doing things that cater more to your strengths. Guys, it's time to have a conversation about Jarquez Hunter.
What's the conversation? We knew he was good. We knew he was good before he hit the field for the first year here.
Auburn has two backs go for 100 yards for the second game in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jarquez Hunter came up, I think, maybe 2 yards short of what Tank did on like
a yard.
Yeah, on like 5 fewer carries.
Mm-hmm.
He's so tough to bring down.
Man, I'm telling you,
he's so tough to bring down.
He's seeing the field. He is, he's got a really good understanding of when to bounce it to the outside and when to cut it up. I'm excited for the 2023 version of this cat. Give him an off season and some tape.
Could you imagine him if you played with some tempo?
I'm telling you.
Could you think about what Lane could do, just assuming, but could you think of what a guy who could do some tempo could do with that guy? Yeah, like how you could easily just grind because he's tough to bring down coming out of a huddle, and you've got time to set up on defense. Could you imagine on your heels and having to bring that guy down?
I'm telling you. This is the team. This is the team I thought we had at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Right. Before the season started, this is the team that I thought we had.
Right.
I thought we had a team. And I still have an outside chance to get my bag that I put on Auburn preseason. I caught the over-under at 5.5 with me and Brandy. I would like to shout out Brandy Mac for the Vanderbilt bet that she gave me. Their over-under was at 2.5. So cash that one already. But yeah, Jarquez Hunter is running. Listen, Bama's watching this tape. So they're going to have to pull something out of thin air next week. I think. I'm not sure. Robbie's going to have to throw. He's going to have to make more passes than he did this week. Right. I don't think we can bully Bama's defense. They're too well coached, and they're going to be motivated for this one. I think they're going to be. I don't think it's ever motivation for the Iron Bowl is never an issue with them, but they're going to be motivated for this one.
Yeah,
and it's going to be interesting to see. But Jarquez Hunter impressed me tonight again for the second week straight. I think this young man has a bright future, and he hit. You can see all the work that he's put in the weight room. I think he's squatting like 650 now or something crazy like that. But some of the players have told us that he's getting pretty close to being able to beast out. One more offseason, he'll be beasting out 700 pounds. I don't even know how the bar holds that weight. But he is. I mean, he is if you're going to play this type of football, Jarquez Hunter is the type of back you need. He's the type of back you need. And with Tank leaving, Damari Alston getting some time is going to be interesting to watch as well, too. So we still might have a pretty good 1-2 punch at running back. I thought today wasn't insignificant.
Right.
Again, there were recruits at this game.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if they had pulled out the overtime win versus Mississippi State?
Oh, man.
We'd be talking about Auburn on a 3-game winning streak right now.
Yeah.
So, there were recruits at this game. Everything, this is a Brian Harsin quote, but whatever. If you're going to compete for championships,
can't use those no more, man.
Like everything you do matters, right? And sometimes
it's true. Whoever says it, regardless of who says it.
Yeah, the momentum that they're creating right now, going into the offseason and potentially the postseason, is really important to the future of this program. Yeah, right. And so, if you're a recruit, what you're seeing is these guys don't quit no matter what.
Yeah,
these guys don't quit no matter what. The fans don't quit, right? The administration doesn't quit, and they're getting a lot of. Dare I say, I think Auburn is getting a lot of things right now.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, let me ask you guys this before we get to the comments. We see you guys are commenting, and we will definitely get to some of those. B, you made a good point, Mike. You just said it again. The decisions that have been made up to this point, selecting caddy, selection of the AD, there's no search committee. There hasn't been a lot of drama around this coaching search. Does this give you even more confidence that we will get the head coach hire right? Does this give you confidence based on the decisions that have been made up to this point and how it's panned out?
What gives me confidence we'll get the head coaching decision correct is that, like I was saying earlier, they've already been kind of like exposed as meddlers. Everybody who comes in is coming in with protection, and so that will allow us to attract much better candidates. That will allow us to say, apparently, if you believe rumors that Dabo's people contacted us about this job, since when is one of the 3 dynastic programs over the last 10 years reaching out to us? Not us going for Iowa State's head coach or Arkansas State's head coach or Boise State's head coach. Somebody who has been in 4 national championship games, won 2 of them, beat Bama just as many times as Bama's beat him. That guy's going, hey, ask him what it looked like, because I'm trying to see, what all y'all got. I'm saying, when is the last time we have been in the runnings for that? We've never bought high on a coach, so the drama has an upside. It looked terrible. NIL is here. The football performance center is here. So it's like you're coming in here with a shotgun and a hatchet, and you're Jason. Like, we're chasing down the teenagers now. We are hunting right now.
Yeah.
And there's no coach who wouldn't want to just like, yeah, I'll put on that mask. Give me that stuff. I'll kill some teenagers. I don't know how I got here with this, but y'all get what I'm saying.
It got really dark, but go
we
ahead.
are the Predators right now, not the hockey team. We are in prime position to get the best candidate because we have a lot of resources just ready to be used. So anybody who's used to dealing with more, if you're Dabo, I don't really like Dabo. I think he's a bit of a goofball. If he ends up being our coach, let's just scrub this episode.
I just started hating on him.
I know. I thought about you when that got mentioned. See, I was like, man, he don't like Dabo. That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm lukewarm on Dabo.
Same.
I'm lukewarm on Dabo. Like, it's a name, and it's he's won a championship in the last 6 years or whatever. But I think we can do better. I think Auburn could do better than Dabo.
It's crazy enough, even though he has won. He's won national championships, which means you got to beat someone of quality, right?
Right.
But in the conference that he's in, you gotta. He's been able to coast many seasons. In this conference, you got to beat somebody week after week. And so that's a little different. you know, most coaches can cruise through the ACC if you're recruiting well and your X's and O's coach. This conference, you can do that and still have 2 losses at the end of the season. Yeah, so what gives me pause and concern about Dabo is, I don't know. I'm watching him now, and he's kind of struggling through the ACC. I don't know. I'm with you, Mike. I'm with you. I'm a little iffy on Dabo.
Yeah, I'm looking at DJ and some of the quarterbacks he had after Trevor Lawrence, and I'm like, is there a guy that's better with quarterbacks that we can get?
Listen, Tony Elliott's not there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You got to remember, he's had some masterminds on offense that made him look good. He's a CEO type of coach.
Right, for sure. So
when those guys leave, you know, we start to see what he's really made of. So
yeah, I don't know.
That's the thing. That's the problem with CEO coaches is that they'll let their guys coach, but when those guys get promoted and get head coaching gigs, do you reload at a coach from your staff? Do you reload your staff, basically?
Yeah, I got to like if I'm Lane Kiffin and I'm looking at this Auburn team right now, I'm like, they're close. Mm-hmm. They're close to something special, right? And I am 1 to 4 portal players away from making them a monster,
right?
With a brand new performance center, performance center, you know.
NIL money, you're just waiting.
All the people who were complaining about NIL, and we were just like, give it some time. Right now, all of a sudden, Auburn has this massive NIL war chest, right? And with NIL no longer being an issue, and he was on record as saying in this NIL era that Ole Miss would have a hard time keeping up.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm paraphrasing him, but he was that was the gist of what he was saying. So if you watch this win today, you're just thinking, man, like there's talent down there. And you know, maybe he's looking at Robbie Ashford and thinking, man, let me get a hold of this kid.
Right.
Elite athlete, right? And then, you know, fix some things with mechanics and throw him back out there, and he's all SEC under Lane Kiffin.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Like, I think this has become more attractive to B's point. Yeah, we were exposed. We got exposed. The whole of the nation was laughing at Auburn.
Yeah.
You guys suck. Nobody wants to come there. You guys are daydreaming about Dion. And now they've kind of turned the frown upside down. And the decision to make Caddy the interim coach tells, and the effect that it's had tells me that some of the dysfunction ran beyond X's and O's.
For sure.
Do you see the speech that Derek Hall gave?
When he gave Caddy the
game ball?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I mean, it hurts to say, but I was sitting back, I was like, ooh, see, this is a bad look. This is a bad look for the last.
Oh, yeah.
It's a bad look for the last guy. Because they do appear like motivation was an issue.
Yeah.
Right.
Morale was an issue.
Yeah.
But they have no lack of that. I mean, it seems to be in abundance now.
Right.
So, and it's such a short period of time, too. It's not like he's been there 8 years.
Quick. Right. It took them one week of game preparation, and they went out and fought Tuesday Dale against Mississippi State. Yeah, I'm like, wow,
that's amazing. That's very telling. Telling.
This is why I'm hoping that of all the names we've named, that it is actually Lane Kiffin that gets the job.
Why?
I think that he is going to be more relatable. I think that he gets player culture, kind of. You know, as a guy who has made some mistakes, I think he will know how to deal with other guys who have made mistakes. Right? Because this was an issue. The issue was we were holding some guys to some behavior standards. And like, listen, man, if you're going to have a good football team, you're going to have a few knuckleheads.
Yeah.
And the idea that you could have run one with no knuckleheads is hard. It doesn't mean you have to let them do what they want to do, but you have to learn how to manage those players.
Right.
It's like parenting, man. Like, you can't parent all your children the same way. They're different people.
Yeah.
So, this makes me, this win, especially what happened after halftime, makes me think a lot of the stuff that happened before, like, the players were taking the brunt of the blame.
Mm-hmm.
This guy sucks. That guy sucks. We don't have this. We don't have that. We didn't recruit. We don't have all this stuff. And then suddenly, the line looked serviceable in the run game. Run blocking was a problem all season. It has not been the last 3 weeks.
Right.
Tell me what changed.
Right.
Except for some key people. I mean, think of it. They were very strategic about who they let go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They kept some people. They didn't empty the cupboards, but they kept some people and they let some others go, man. And listen, man, hats off. I hope that somehow we keep Ike Hilliard through all this. Beside Caddy, I hope they find a way to keep Ike Hilliard, honestly.
Yeah.
I just don't know how you let an NFL coach just show them the door, right?
Yeah.
But we will definitely see. Guys, you are watching not the halftime, but the post game brought to you by PrizePicks. Shouts out to them. Guys, please be sure to support our supporters. With PrizePicks, head over there and use code RAPPORT. When you use code RAPPORT, you'll get a 100% deposit match up to $100 on your first deposit. Shouts out to them. Also, want to shout out the Rogue Shop. Because of them, I had a gummy at my disposal to pop after the first half because I got a little nervous. Put it back in the back of the pantry in the second half. But thanks to you, Rogue Shop, I was able to keep calm and enjoy the second half. And guys, you can enjoy the rest of your weekend, rest of your week, rest of the year. Head over to Rogue Shop, use code RAPPORT to get your gummies. If you can't comment, that's because you have a black name. You need to join the green name gang. $5.99 a month to get you there, guys. Also, the film reviews are so much more fun to watch after an Auburn victory. You definitely want to see what Ike has cut up for you guys this upcoming week as we do watch the film. $5.99 a month will get you there. Also, we're in the holiday season. You can give some memberships to some people. Click that button, and YouTube will randomly select members to join our War Report family. Now, they'll join for 1 month free. After that month, they're on their own. But this is a great opportunity to help grow our family, and we appreciate you guys who've been involved in that. Thank you for not only being a part of the War Report, but helping others become a part of the War Report family as well. Gentlemen, let's get to some of the comments because I see a lot of people have been commenting. I definitely want to get to that. Jazzy Joe says, War Eagle fam, I'm frozen. I did see his tweets out there freezing his butt off. Says he's got to get out of here. War Eagle to you, Jazzy. Definitely
War
get
Eagle,
you some
man.
more.
Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you a lot here. James Barnett says, don't sleep on this team come Iron Bowl week. Say what you want. This team playing for their coach and each other. I agree, James. I agree. This team looks a little different.
And Bama ain't that good this year. I mean, they good, but they ain't what Bama has been.
Yeah, listen, their fans were complaining. It was 7-0 at halftime versus whatever.
Austin P.
Yeah, they played.
Who is Austin P?
And noted Bammer on Twitter, Courtney McKinney was like, "Are we just bad?" and I was like, "Oh, they turning on him already."
Struggle half, y'all. The next 5 years, in which time I expect Nick Saban to retire, Kirby's gonna keep it going. If we get the coaches that we think we're likely to get, we're gonna have it going. When they start to lose with regularity, it's going to be hilarious and dangerous for their closest family and friends, which is not funny, but it's still going to be hilarious when they are losing and melting down.
Then what do we sees are going to be lit.
Man. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
We're just going to have to do a whole dedicated segment. It's going to be sponsored by Alabama's loss. That's what we see is going to have to be sponsored by. Like this, that I can't wait. It's going to be so great. It's going to be so wonderful because they're panicking over a 2-loss season so far.
Yeah.
Yep. Get your bulletproof vest ready.
Hide the trees.
Yeah. Opposing fans gonna be dodging bullets like they in the Matrix. And they start losing regularly. So,
oh man. Matthew Geyer, appreciate the super chat. He says, I'm not sure about Lane. He has the same downsides as a Dion hire. Sure, he can recruit, but he has a 3 to 4 year flight pattern since his hire at Ole Miss. That's been his longest tenure since 06. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah,
Thoughts about this, guys?
But you got to look at the jobs that he's had as well, too, right? I think the whole point is you want to go someplace where, we know why his USC tenure ended, right? We know why he left Tennessee as well. At the end of the day, he's getting pretty close to, I'm going to stay here money.
Yeah.
Right. That's not what USC gave him.
Right.
That's definitely not what Tennessee gave him. So, at a place like Auburn where there shouldn't be any question if you can win championships here because coaches have done it.
Right.
They've gone all the way to the chip multiple times. And, if Gus can do it, Lane can do it.
Yeah, for sure.
If Gus can do it, Lane can do it. So.
Listen, and I think Lane has kind of matured in that way as well.
Yeah.
I know we hold the USC and Tennessee, but listen, USC kind of humbled him in a lot of ways. He had to go through the Saban School of Rehabilitation for coaches. And so doing that, like, again, he's starting to run his program as a result of that. Like he's a different type of coach, but then he started at, was it FAU?
Yeah.
You can't expect him to stay long at FAU.
Right.
And then he's at Ole Miss, which is a good job, but who has won the West Division at Ole Miss?
Right.
Nobody, because they got 0 West titles.
If you're a competitor, you're going to go somewhere and he's been complaining about certain things that he's not getting at Ole Miss. If you have an opportunity to get that at a school, make the money you want, and be able to compete, who wouldn't take advantage of that?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, the way I'm looking at it like this. Lane and Auburn would be a good fit. I think the timing is right. He'll get a lot of things right on offense. Well, I think we can probably stop worrying about whether our quarterbacks are going to be busts.
Right.
Which will solve a lot of issues in today's era of college football. It seems like, if you don't have a dynamic quarterback, it's going to be really, really difficult to win. Look at the potential Heisman list this year. Quarterback, right? I just think I think it's a lot. I think he gets it. I love his Twitter trolling is smart and funny.
Oh yeah, it's masterful. It's masterful.
And recruits live in that social media space, man, and he operates there. I think it's going to be really good for Auburn, and he's got to be watching this and thinking, okay, was this really a 5-win team? Or do they just need me? Because these guys all have egos, and I'm telling you, they think they're the one that can go in and fix it. And then we've got a few more shiny things for him to incentivize.
Right.
For sure.
That performance, again, that brand new facility, woo, boy.
That's nice, man.
I'm telling you.
The best thing, though, again, that's more attractive is there appears to be new leadership.
Right.
That's better than any $90 million facility. It helps.
Right.
But if you know that you got a president and an AD that's going to make sure that people are out of your way, that's going to attract some guys.
For sure.
So let's get to the next comment. John Bryan says, and Vandy still has a better record than Jimothy.
Wow. How much money do you think you would have won if you had bet that Vandy would have more wins than Texas A&M at the end of the season?
No, I don't know. I don't.
What do you think the odds would be?
Like plus 2,000. It'd have been bad. It'd have been really
man. It'd be wow.
Ridiculous. Who saw that coming, man? Who saw that coming?
For sure. Ben Bloodworth says Kyle Field was a ghost town today.
Man,
now that photo was after halftime, right? Was it right after halftime, or was it like
right after halftime?
Right after halftime.
They were up like 10-3, or was it 3-3?
All them folks wasn't at the concession stand.
That was ridiculous.
The bathroom line wasn't that long.
Maybe it was. Maybe they were sick and had to go somewhere and puke. I don't know.
Well, I mean, that's embarrassing.
Yeah, man.
Meanwhile, people are making fun of us for celebrating that our fans showed up when we played a 3-win Texas A&M. And I'm like, what would you have said if the stadium had been empty?
Right.
Give me a break, dude.
Right.
So, like, enthusiasm is waning in College Station right now. And at Auburn, I saw pictures. People sent me pictures from Tiger Walk today. It was packed.
Yeah.
It was a great turnout for Tiger Walk. So, I don't know, man. Listen, I'm still hating too. Like, this all could be worse. And this is the right way to trend if you're going to trend. Trend with wins.
Yeah.
They don't have to be pretty, but, trend with wins through the end of this season. And, boy, I'm telling you, this staff is cooking something for next week.
For sure.
Boy.
Yeah, I want to grab these two before I had to jump off, but I see Bankroll saying Spencer Rattler's going crazy. I'm not calling him my boy.
14.
I'm not calling him my boy.
He is your boy.
I'm surprised at that score for right now. 28-14 Vols down 14 to South Carolina, who I mean just got whooped by Missouri.
He's
and
12 of
Florida.
14 B for 204 yards and 3 TDs.
I mean, maybe Georgia gave everybody the blueprint. It's possible, but yeah, finish the game. Let me see it finish. I think Spencer Rattler has settled on his own. That I don't know, whatever hope they had for him to be great, that pretty much died this season. They're going to be a 6-loss team. I don't think they're going to win this game because I am hating. I have reactivated my Spencer Rattler hate. But yeah, so I also see John Brandon say my analogies need some work. Jason, listen, man, it's off the top, man. I'm just talking. Please forgive me. I know that was terrible and hard to follow. Y'all forgive me, man. But y'all enjoy the rest of the chat. I will be listening, and I'm gonna go handle some screaming kids with my wife.
All right.
Sounds like a lot of fun that I'm looking forward to in a few months. All right.
Sure, holla, y'all.
All right, bro.
Y'all out here making people.
Real life people. Misa AT Alien says, Iron Bowl, I've been to several from my senior year, 2013 to now, where crazy stuff happens. I'm ready.
Yeah, listen, I don't love it. I don't love it because it's in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
Right. And whatever attendance, issues they had today, it's not gonna be a problem next week. They're gonna show up and they're gonna scream, and this is the one game that they don't want to lose. Right? Like, they don't want to lose this one. You don't want to lose, they don't want to lose to this team and this interim coach.
Right.
As currently constructed. They don't want that. So I expect them to also pull out all the stops next week, but we'll see.
For sure. Will Barclay says Caddy is great and deserves a promotion, but keeping him as a head coach would be the worst thing for him and Auburn both. My G, you Mac and Memes, y'all had a podcast this week, and y'all kind of talked about this a little bit. What were some of the thoughts for those who missed it? What is kind of the cliff notes y'all were saying about this?
Listen, man, you just in any job, when you hire somebody to do a job, you need to set them up for success, right? Mm-hmm. The expectations at Auburn have always been super high, and they're not going to lower just because you hired a guy, with not a lot of head coaching experience. So I just don't think now is the time for this, right? Like, listen, I appreciate what he's doing right now. I know the players appreciate it. The university appreciates it. But, like, listen, he's just not the guy for right now. I mean, I think that, some experience as a coordinator might help him before he jumps into a head coaching gig. There's a lot to running a program, and I think if you asked him, he would be honest with you in saying that he's not ready. Right. It doesn't minimize any of what he's done and accomplished, though, as they've asked him to step in. But, full time, again, we've got a lot that still needs to be fixed, man. And he's going to have to he would have to convince other big time coaches to come and coach here with him at the coordinator position, right? You need a guy to work with these quarterbacks. Our quarterbacks need tutelage, and it just is what it is. Like I said, I love Caddy, man. I just don't think this is not what Auburn needs right now long term.
I think at the firing of Harsin, I think the bar was already the bar is set really low for any interim to come in, right?
Right,
You're
right,
just wanting to you're just asking him to get us to the end of the season, pretty much.
right.
What Caddy has done has been amazing, but we have to understand that with a new season comes a whole new different set of expectations. And is Caddy ready to handle and shoulder the weight of those expectations, building a staff and learning how to coach, be a head coach at this level on the fly? When you have an opportunity to go out and get a coach who has plenty of experience doing that
Right.
and is hungry to go after the Sabres and the Kirby Smarts. I think it boils down to that. Never know how Caddy would do, but I think, to your point, I think he would admit he's not ready.
It's not the time.
He's not ready. He's not ready.
Yeah,
He's
you
not
know how we talk about not throwing a quarterback out there too early,
right?
Because you might.
Right.
I think this is the same thing, man. You just
Absolutely.
you don't. We can't. Out of respect for him, we can't feed him to the wolves, right? But I would not. I'd be okay if there was a strong suggestion that the next staff retain him for a lot of reasons. I think his upside is clear.
Absolutely.
To have on the coaching staff. So
if you're worth anything as a head coach, you have to, because usually as a head coach, Mike, when you're coming in, you're usually clearing house just because you're trying to create a better culture.
Mm-hmm.
What Caddy has shown is I can help you do that because I'm doing it right now. So unless you just have a running backs coach who's just been with you for years and you trust him, it's a no-brainer to take Caddy. Even if you suggest or not, if you're paying attention to what's happening at Auburn, this guy gets it. This guy can be on my staff and help me. Again, that's just my thoughts on that. Let's get to some more comments here. D. Lev says, how do y'all think the timing of the hiring the next coach will affect recruiting? Do we need to get it done before early signing day?
If they don't have a coach hired by the Sunday after the Iron Bowl, I'd be shocked.
Would you be worried?
Yes. And I think we talked about this on Mike Mack and Memes as well too. Like, if it gets to Thursday of the next week and we still don't have a coach, like
we're getting towards the middle of the list.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those things where it's just kind of like, oh my God, like, I don't know, but like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if they are, after today, they lock in their guy, and then just keep it on the DL until after next Saturday. I wouldn't be shocked.
Right.
So if he's currently coaching whatever bowl game their school is going to, he's not going to coach it.
Right.
Obviously. Right.
Right.
But, if he's going to leave out of respect for the institution that you're leaving, right, if they're going to have to go through a coaching search, it would behoove you to give them as much time as possible to prepare for that as well, too. So I don't think it's not something that can drag out for the coach that's coming in, for the institution that is losing a coach, and for us, on the other side that's getting a coach, right? It's got to move quickly for all parties involved. It's got to move quickly for all parties involved, right? Or somebody is going to be, because you imagine if you're the school that's losing the coach, your recruiting class could fall apart before early signing day.
Right. It could. Yeah.
Right. I mean, this is going to be a delicate situation if we're hiring somebody away from a program. So, that can't be understated.
And I think too, because I think this administration gets it though, Mike, because they were willing to fire a coach mid-season. But I think what has to be stated is that in the age of transfer portal, early signing day period, you can't do things the way we used to do traditionally. Like when I think about when a coach like Nick Saban was hired, a lot of these coaches, they was hired in January. Could you imagine hiring a coach in January in this age? Could you imagine how behind he would be? And so I think for us to even make the decision to fire a coach early, it would be a big disappointment and a concern for recruiting as well as how things are going.
Right.
That here we are at the end of our season and we're going a whole nother week to try to find a coach. That would be disappointing and concerning.
Yeah, I don't think that it's going to go that long, honestly. I think they're ironing out details now, right? and a decision. Now, it's been reported that Ole Miss has already given Lane Kiffin the details of his contract extension.
That's very telling too, by the way.
Yeah, I have read that it sucks. Now he's already being paid very well. Don't get me wrong, but like, it's not anything like where you're like, whoa, they really want to keep him, which would underscore what Lane was talking about resources that Ole Miss has. So it'll be interesting to see, Caesar. But timing is going to be everything here. They're going to have to get a guy hired. And, what a time to be, for Auburn, man. If they can somehow sneak out a win in the Iron Bowl and then announce a new coach 24 hours later, it's going to be wild. So I can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Now, speaking of Lane, Wesley Hills, and at the time he commented, he said 14-0, but since then, Ole Miss has put 3 points on the board. They're down 14-3, but it's still first quarter, right?
Yeah, the question was asked whether all this Lane Kiffin talk was going to affect Ole Miss. Hell, I asked it, Caesar. I was like, you guys, Wednesday I asked, do you guys think all this talk about Lane leaving might have an effect on that program? And then here we are, 14-3. Now it's early. It is. But like, we want to win or not a loser. I want him to win this game if he's coming.
Against Arkansas, yeah.
Right. Yeah, I want him to win this game if he's coming.
In fairness, though, Arkansas over the past week or so have been playing pretty tough at home because LSU didn't exactly run them off the field either. So we'll see how this game shakes out for sure. But yes, they are down at the moment. Cleveland Brown says, War Eagle, hate week is here. Beat Bama. We're going to do a lot of hating this over this next week. I hope you're here with us, Cleveland, to do just that. Mike Hendrick makes a good points here. He says letting Caddy go would put a new coach way behind the chains with the fans. Would that be temporary? Would that be, you're muted, Mike? Would that be temporary until he makes some hires? Because he could replace an Auburn guy with another Auburn guy.
True. I'll listen, man. You're talking about letting go of a legend. And a relatively recent legend as well, too. A lot of fans were at that Iron Bowl where, go crazy Cadillac, right? I mean, it's going to be tough, right? It was very unpopular when we let go of Travis Williams.
Yeah, it was.
It was super unpopular. But with the media attention that Cadillac is getting right now, God, letting him go would just be, and just saying, at the very least, stay and be our running backs coach. He's great with play. The players love him. If you're watching, they're giving him the game ball.
You give him like either recruiting coordinator title, assistant head coach. You give him something beyond that. Like you give him some responsibility in that regard.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. So I agree with this, Mike. I think it would be like, listen, if you win, fans will forget. But it will be wildly unpopular for about 8 months.
Your running backs can't fumble a single football.
Yep.
I'm
telling you.
Yeah.
I'll put them behind the 8 ball for sure.
Listen, we got some backs here. Like Caddy has put in work since he's been here. So yes, to replace him, it'll be tough. It'll be tough for sure.
Good luck with that.
Ben Bloodworth says UCF lost to Navy.
Navy threw one pass, and it was incomplete. and they beat UCF at home. Listen, I don't. There's been a lot said. Sometimes you guys are in our comment section talking about all these former Auburn guys. They're still Auburn guys, and we root for them. The hell with that. I don't want to see my ex doing better than me. I just don't. And this is about now they're sitting.
Come on, Petty Pendergrass. Come on, Petty Pendergrass.
Sure. They're one more loss away from a solid season.
8-4.
Yeah, I mean, you just You know what I mean? They are who they thought we were. I don't know. I mean, I just think you could call a spade at this point. I don't know why anybody is shocked.
This is what Gus does, though.
Yeah.
This is what Gus does.
Win one you're not supposed to win, and lose one you're not supposed to lose. I mean, that's it. That's his whole coaching career.
For sure. Lawrence asks, I think we talked about this. Would we take Dabo?
I don't know. I'd rather us go another direction. I'd rather us go another direction, but I mean, we'll see. If he's serious in the running, I don't know. Like, it just seemed like after Lane became like the front runner, all the other hot girls got jealous. And now these names are getting thrown around, you know, as having interest in the job. It's not lost on me that I think conference realignment, Caesar, is playing
I mentioned that. Yeah, I mentioned that in the podcast.
Yeah, playing a role in people wanting to jump over to the SEC before the SEC is running everything. So
right, for sure.
What it is.
Wesley Hilson says McGlynn promoting Caddy to interim started the healing process and bringing the family back together. Let's talk about the job Rich McGlynn has done.
Yeah, I don't think he did that unilaterally. I think there was a big internal discussion about it. I wouldn't be surprised if they talked to some people on the team, you know, the players, and hey, I wouldn't be surprised if they consulted with the players and said, hey, listen, this is, the seniors on this team. How do you guys want to finish? Right? Are you okay with this decision? If you had to pick one guy to be head coach, right? And I wouldn't be surprised if the stakeholders that are in that locker room played a role in Cadillac getting that promotion.
For sure. And Valencia Jackson, appreciate you being on with us. She says, I'm so glad for the seniors to get this win.
Exactly.
This was good for them. This is big for them in this, because again, you're winning, you're going out on a high note despite the kind of season we had. Speak to that, Mike.
The seniors, Derek Hall, John Samuel Shanker, these guys that are just great guys. Going out with a win means something. And again, it's only in certain fan circles that they think if you're not playing for a championship, you're not playing for anything. And I think that's what a lot of people thought about Auburn. There's nothing for them to play for. Their season's already done. They're going to tank it, right? But I'll tell you what, man, you get a win next week. Ending your season on 3 wins is always better than ending it on 3 losses, no matter how bad a season you're having.
Yeah.
So because that's what they would talk about. Think about it. All we would hear is Auburn closes the season with a cajillion straight losses. Right. So don't get fooled into thinking that it doesn't matter. Right. Because they had 5 straight losses. Right. You lose these. If they had lost these last 3, that would be 8 straight losses.
Yeah.
8 straight. Sure. These games definitely matter.
For sure.
Right. And you had 2 games that were tight that you should have won probably in Mississippi State and LSU, both conference games.
Right.
So, don't let anybody fool you into thinking that this stretch down the stretch doesn't matter. It mattered to the seniors on this team. Right. I think the fans showed that it matters to them as well, too. Right. And it's definitely going to matter to whoever's potentially coming in to take over the program. Because the job's getting a more attractive week by week every time they pull out a win.
For sure.
Right.
For sure. So Bay Lyman says he thinks Freeze is a good fit at Auburn. I know you have kind of talked about Freeze, Mike. Thoughts?
No.
Okay.
I don't want him.
James Barnett says, fellas, if Lane or Freeze is not hired, do you give Caddy the look, especially if he wins the Iron Bowl?
No.
I think getting a Bulldog OC in DC could help cover up his not having a lot of coaching. Thoughts on that?
Until we don't get the Bulldog OC or DC.
Well, then you got to replace that Bulldog with another Bulldog when that OC or DC gets promoted.
Right, correct. I mean, at the end of the day, you need somebody in that head chair at the head of the table that's going to be viewed as an authority, as somebody who can tutor, so to speak, the coordinators under them, right? Because coaches do not just coach players. Your head coach coaches other coaches. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's Caddy right now. I think that's the thing that people are missing, right? And these guys are prideful, man. No big name OC is going to want to come coach under Cadillac. I don't think. Because they all think they should be sitting in the head job, right? But you're talking about a guy in Cadillac who's only been coaching a few years.
Yeah.
Right. You know, I mean, you've got guys who decades before they get their first head coaching job.
Yeah.
So like, I just don't think, you know, from an optic standpoint, it's going to be that easy to go out and get. You can maybe, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to find an up and comer and roll the dice that they're going to be good enough. That's it. And I think that that's what we're actually trying to avoid. You want somebody who can pull in. You want somebody who can pull in that and say, "Hey, yeah, I want to go work with Lane." You know, if Saban wants your coordinator, you're screwed.
Right.
If Nick Saban wants your coordinator, if he wants your girl, he's taking her.
See,
right?
Mr. Steal Your Girl.
Mr. Steal Your Girl, right? And then those guys go on to get head coaching jobs.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are doing well. The Saban coach, I mean, we need somebody we can build a coaching tree under. Right? I just don't think it's Caddy. I don't think it's Caddy. I don't think he personally has anything to offer other coaches. He has a lot to offer players. But with his current experience, I don't think he has a lot to offer a seasoned OC or DC that's doing well right now.
Bay Lyman says, Mike G, can you deny what Freeze has done at Liberty? He beat Arkansas with a third string QB. Lane losing to Arky right now.
Yeah, I'm not denying any of that. Listen,
your issues with him goes beyond. Does it go beyond what's on the field for you?
Yeah. Like I just don't like. I mean, there are certain things. You know, when Bruce Pearl got hired, and everybody's like, "You guys hired a cheater," and I looked at that situation, I was just like, okay, like he invited the kid to a barbecue. Like it provided no competitive advantage. Like the whole thing was stupid. He got in trouble because he lied about it. You know, so when Auburn hired him, I was just like, yeah, this is a great hire. We got a steal. We got a great basketball coach who really doesn't need any rehabilitation. It was just a dumb thing. He won't make that mistake again. And now with NIL, everything's all good. That's not Hugh Freeze. And I would challenge you to go back and look at his tenure at Ole Miss. And like, I'm just not so sure this guy is reformed. You know, there are a lot of things that happened in that situation that I think expose some serious character flaws. And I'm just not sure. And other things that have happened even since he's been at Liberty. That I'm not sure this is the leader of young men that Auburn needs right now. So that's my not denying any of his accomplishments, Bay Lyman. You're absolutely right. Listen, the guy can there are players on this team who quietly were pulling for a Hugh Freeze hire on offense. I get it. I just think we can hire a better role model for these young guys.
Got it. Matthew Geyer says, great to see y'all back together. Best coverage in the Auburn universe. Got to shout out my brothers, Chris, Coop, and Albert to get those green names. War Eagle.
Hey.
Appreciate it, Matthew. Appreciate it, sir.
Yeah, the green names are, if it's gifted, it's done at random. But if they're signing up, of course, welcome to the family.
For sure. Tori, appreciate you being on with us, man. He's mentioning Austin Davis and Jeremy Pruitt. Now, Jeremy Pruitt was actually spotted at Jordan Hare last week during all the excitement and melee going on against A&M. I thought that was very interesting, Mike.
Yeah.
He wasn't in the stands.
Yeah. You know, I don't know, man. Maybe Pruitt has a side piece at Auburn. Like, I take him. Like, I don't at Auburn. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. So I won't speculate too hard. But Austin Davis is probably a no.
It's probably a no. I would be a strong no on him.
Yeah, based on what I know about, you know, why he left. He didn't last here. It's probably a no. I think he would make an amazing coordinator. Austin Davis would. And I think that he would be great with our quarterbacks. But, you know, we'll see. Like I said, again, these guys are prideful. And I don't know, man. Like, I just don't know. I don't know. I don't think that this is a good idea.
Austin Davis, Harsin took a chance on Austin Davis because he had no coordinator experience, even though he was a QB coach at the highest level, right? So this was his first opportunity to show that he could be a coordinator. Mm-hmm. What coach is taking a chance on that guy? Probably does, because Lane Kiffin's current OC he's a pretty young guy himself. I think it was what's his coordinator's name? Charlie Weiss Jr., I think.
Okay.
Pretty young guy. So I could see someone potentially taking a chance on him. Not sure if the next head coach of Auburn does that with Austin Davis. Jeremy Pruitt, on the other hand, as a defensive coordinator, I could see it.
Yeah, I mean, again,
I could see it.
If you get a big name head coach in here, I could definitely see it. So Pruitt, love it. Again, offensive coordinator. Depending on who you hire, right? I'll be interested to gather some information about Ole Miss's offense, and it feels like Lane Kiffin calls plays still. I'm not sure.
Know.
I'm not sure on that. Chat, chime in if you know. Whether Kiffin calls plays, but
they've been giving Charlie Weiss Jr. a lot of love as an OC. So I don't know what the balance is, or how that works.
All I know is wherever he goes, offense doesn't seem to be an issue. So and that's what we're needing desperately. For sure. It's consistent offense.
For sure. Bay Lyman is not big on Pruitt at all. He's saying the reason he's saying yes, no to Freeze, but yes to Pruitt. But Pruitt would be a DC. He's working for a guy. He's working for the leader of your coaches. Do you look at that a little differently, in your opinion?
Yeah.
Pruitt's handing out Happy Meals. So
yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, if you're going to go with Caddy as head coach, man, I would. Why not just pull in T. Will as defensive coordinator? And I
think T. Will would kick down the door begging.
Yeah. Like that's the type of hire that you would have to make. Again, an up and comer.
Yeah.
Right. And somebody who may not have any ego about working under a head coach without a lot of experience.
I want Lane to turn his defense over. If you hire a guy like Lane, I would want him to turn his defense over. I'm not impressed with what, and this is probably one of the reasons why you're concerned about with what you're seeing against Arkansas, because you can run against Ole Miss's defense as it's currently constructed. What does Arkansas like to do?
Right.
Run the ball. So I think if you bring in Lane has to tweak that defense and hand it all the way over to a capable coordinator who can actually stop people.
21-3 right now.
And stop leaving your defense out to dry too by going for it on fourth and whatever.
Yeah, for sure. Listen, this is a great day of football, by the way. Right? Yeah. Georgia Tech is up on UNC. Tennessee is losing. Ole Miss is losing. Oklahoma is beating the brakes off Oklahoma State right now. This is upset city. All I need is an Oregon loss to complete the circle of life.
Is Bo still hurt?
It don't even matter.
I was curious about that. I know he got injured last week.
I think he was questionable to play. But never been an Oregon fan ever. So
yeah, this hate of Oregon goes a long
all the way back to 2010.
It's deep when you lived in Arizona. It goes back to it goes back.
Yeah, all the way back to 2010. So looking for Utah to, put them in their place as well. I mean, great day of football, man. Like, listen, struggle wins everywhere and big time upsets. That's college football. I'm just glad we're not talking about an Auburn loss to Western Kentucky.
Feels good, doesn't it?
41-17, man.
It's been a good day for me, Mike.
That's only the third time we've broken 40 points. It was all against cupcakes.
Yeah.
They're all against cupcake teams.
And it feels good because this was again, to your point, this was a team that a lot of people expected to upset Auburn. I mean, we saw what the line was. A lot of people wasn't expecting much. And here we are.
Their offense has been dynamic for a few years.
Yeah.
So they built a reputation for being able to put up points and yards in big chunks. And Auburn just didn't let them do that today. I thought it was a great win.
We held their QB to under 300 yards passing, Mike, and he threw the ball 54 times.
That's insane. That's insane.
That's encouraging. That's very encouraging.
Yeah, 54 throws, like, wow. You know, and this guy Reed, when you look at his game log,
25 of 54, 290 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks.
Yeah, this guy is been throwing it all over the place. Right. So, you know, I just thought it was such a good win today. Something for, I mean, there are over 500 people on the post game here with us after we beat Western Kentucky. Right. Yeah, so, I think that the anticipation is going to continue to build until after the Iron Bowl. But listen, man, if they could put up a good showing in the Iron Bowl and compete, this is going to be a really attractive job for somebody.
For sure.
It really is, man. I'm telling you. I mean, look what Brian Kelly is doing with LSU in year 1.
Yeah.
It hasn't been pretty, but hard to argue with with where they're at based on where that program was at last year.
But Mike, this is what we were hoping would happen with Harsin, especially in year 2, because as tough as this conference is, you can get some breaks here and there.
Right.
Could have beaten Mississippi State. Could have beaten Ole Miss on the road because that was a close game. Couldn't have beaten LSU. And just like that, you're right in the thick of the SEC West race.
Correct. That's it.
So if you take advantage of the breaks that you get, you're right there. And if you find a coach who can get you there, it's all the difference in the world. So again, you got to get this hire right.
Yeah, you definitely got to get this hire right. But again, if you're wondering why we're talking about coaching hires in the Western Kentucky post game, it's that I think this game has an effect on the perception of what somebody will be taking over. Mm-hmm. Right? You're looking at Jarquez Hunter. You're thinking, I already got my running back for next year. Right. You're maybe looking at Robbie Ashford and saying, hey, listen, if I can put some more polish on this guy, all SEC. And if it's not going to work out, I still believe in my ability to be able to bring somebody in who can do the job, right? Or maybe he's looking at Holden Garner and thinking, I've already got my heir apparent. Right? Yeah, I'm telling you, this was not a meaningless game. This meant a lot to Auburn in a lot of ways, and we had recruits at this game. They were tweeting out, going to be at the game today.
Yeah.
So for them to come and watch a 41-17 win, definitely very important.
For sure. Guys, it's just our immediate reactions. We will definitely be back tomorrow for the weekend tailgate. We're going to be more in depth. We're going to look at some stats here and break down the offense, break down the defense. Ike will be back to kind of give his thoughts on what he saw in the game. And we'll really kind of begin to dissect how this team performed as we begin to look ahead to the big one, the Iron Bowl matchup against Alabama to conclude the regular season. Hopefully it leads to an additional game because we win. We will definitely see. But guys, we definitely want to shout out our sponsors for this show, PrizePicks being one of them, guys. Please be sure to go over there and support us by supporting them. Use code REPORT, guys, so that you can take advantage of the opportunity to have 100% deposit match up to $100 on your first deposit. Also, we want to shout out the Rogue Shop. Definitely go grab your gummies, guys. Yay. They have great products over there. They've been a tremendous supporter of the War Report. So please be sure to head over there and use code REPORT to get, was it 10% off of your products?
Yeah,
15% off on your products. Also, become a member of the War Report. Again, we have great content throughout the week, even behind the paywall. Ike does film review. This film review will be great. Also, if you want to bless someone with a membership, you can do membership gifting. There's a button there, and YouTube decides at random who gets it. It's definitely another way to help us grow our community. We would gladly appreciate it. Mike G, any closing thoughts before we get out of here, sir?
No. Like I said, man, it is what it is. We are just plugging along, trying to get this thing done. And Auburn has got a long way to go into the off season. So Bama next week. Let's see how they do, and then we'll go from there. It's
gonna be interesting next week, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
The news is gonna be crazy next week of conspiracy. It's just gonna be kind of fun and kind of annoying at the same time. But I'm curious to see how this plays out in another 7 or 8 days. But guys, we'll be right back with you tomorrow on the weekend tailgate to discuss this game as we look ahead. Until then, guys, enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy this win. War Eagle.
War Eagle.